Are you tired of your videos looking like this? Well, a solution is pretty easy. Good lighting is quite often overlooked by new YouTubers. I think one of the only things that's overlooked more is good sound, which I know like nothing about, so special thanks to Kevin McCreary for recommending this mic. So I want to show you some common lighting setups and how you can achieve them easily and cheaply. Now before I begin, let me just say that this video is for people that are wishing to step up their game a bit, but don't have a great budget. But the great thing about lighting is that it doesn't have to be expensive. So everything that I show you can be achieved with this $20 light stand and this $12 light bulb attachment and the umbrella that comes with this. I've linked the products from Amazon down below. Just know that these are from Cowboy Studio, which is a cheap knockoff brand, so don't buy these for durability. Buy them to get started and then upgrade when you can. And light bulbs available at your local hardware store. Please note that it is important to get daylight balanced bulbs. That is approximately 5,000K. Huh? Okay, so put very simply, light color is measured in Kelvin. And basically the lower the number, the more orange the light is. So 2,000K is extremely orange, while 9,000K is extremely blue. Most incandescent bulbs you buy around the house are about 3,000K. That's pretty orange though, for shooting video. One of these gives actual white light though. Anyway, okay, let's get into this. Now let's start with the lighting setup that I currently have, well, set up now, which is just kind of the go-to, especially for shooting like interviews and such. This is called the 3-point lighting system. This standard lighting setup has 3 parts: the key, the fill, and the rim. What? It's actually really simple. Your key light is your main light, the key piece. I mean, without it, you wouldn't be able to see anything. And right now I have it set up right there, shooting through an umbrella. So that's your key. Your fill is on the other side. It's usually set at like half power or maybe a third power. It's just there for filling in the shadows that your key light causes. Now don't get me wrong, you want shadows. Shadows are what give dimension to your 2D video. This is actually the reason why on-camera flash photos don't look good at all. All that harsh light coming from straight above the lens means that there are going to be no shadows on your subject's face. And as you know, that usually looks hideous. Okay, so now you have your key light and your fill light. Now it's time to add the rim light. You know, honestly, rim lights are quite often overlooked, and that's a shame, because they're extremely important. So basically, a rim light is a light that is behind you facing towards you. A rim light helps distinguish you from the background, because without it, you kind of fade into the background usually. This bit of light that I have right there and all along the shoulder does really help separate me from the background. Now, granted, in ideal circumstances, the light would be way up on the ceiling aiming downwards, so I'd have a lot of light right here. But I can't exactly do that in this house. One of the problems of still living with your parents. And that's all. That's the standard 3-point lighting system. So yeah, this is a pretty nice lighting setup. I mean, it does its job. But it is not the only one you can do. Let's get into the next one I see quite often on YouTube. Setup number 2, clamshell lighting. As you can see, this is a very funky looking setup. It doesn't quite look real. And that's probably because this style of lighting doesn't quite appear naturally in life. So the basic setup is one umbrella straight above me at full power and one umbrella on half power below me. So the full powered umbrella provides the main illumination for the face, but the bottom umbrella pretty much removes almost all of the shadows. Now the reason this is different from full frontal lighting is the light direction. So I basically have light coming from here, and that doesn't happen naturally. But it gives a very clean look, and a lot of people use it for like makeup tutorials. And you gotta admit, the catch lights are pretty funky. And if you're wondering what a catch light is, they're basically the spots in people's eyes that are reflections of the lighting sources. So if you can see the catch lights, you can see exactly how they lit a scene. And they kind of make the eyes like sparkle and look alive, because without them, the eyes look cold and dead. And in fact, if you notice, a lot of times in movies, the villain has no catch lights because he's supposed to look evil and dead inside, and lack of catch lights does exactly that. And things that we're supposed to like generally have like big catch lights. Just a fun little bit of trivia. Oh, speaking of trivia, if you're wondering why the setup is called the clamshell, it's basically because the way that the lights are like angled at the person, it kind of looks a bit like a clam that's about to chomp down on him. So I just think that's fun to know. Next lighting setup. Next is underlighting, which is used to make characters look evil. because of how unnatural it is, this is exactly half of a clamshell setup. The bottom half. So you just have light coming from below, which is very unnatural. In movies, the villain is almost always shot with underlighting. No. You brought the monster. Ooh, okay, I'm getting the bejeebers. Let's move on to the next one. Conversely, using just the top half of the clamshell produces this very nice and natural look. This is generally just the go-to lighting setup for vloggers because it's very, very easy to set up. You just need to put the light right above the camera. That's all. And it has a slight thinning effect on the face because it causes slight shadows right about here, which for some reason makes our brains think that the cheeks are thinner than they really are. So you'll see this also a lot in makeup tutorial channels thingies. Come on, Chris, speak. And there you go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 basic lighting setups. I haven't even touched on like split lighting or Rembrandt lighting, but you're not gonna use those very often for video. Those are much more for photography. So there you go. A few setups to make sure your lighting in your videos isn't revolting. There's a pun! Finally! There is a pun in Pun Tiddly. And until next week, lighten up. Oh my gosh, that was bad. What can I say? I'm currently on a roll! Woo! Oh my god. I don't know if I'll even put this one up. That was so corny in the end.